From shell-shocked to triggered. Has mental health gone too far? This is a tug of war. On one side, we have compassion. On the other, fragility. In the middle is the truth. My granddad returned from the trenches quiet, never the same. Doctors called it shell shock. Neighbors called it weakness. Today, my mate quits uni because of a single stressful exam. He calls it burnout. Have we traded neglect for fragility, or can we find a healthier balance? Let's dive in. The First World War raged. By 1917, Britain declared war on Germany. But as the years dragged on, so did the stalemate. And as casualties mounted, so did the psychological toll. By 1918, 4 years of bloodshed had left countless British soldiers traumatized. When they came home, they carried their wounds unseen, their nightmares unheard. Some couldn't sleep. Others were shaking all the time. They couldn't concentrate. Simple tasks seemed monumental. They felt unreal. By the 1930s, there were about 100,000 registered as suffering from it. It was dismissed as moral weakness. Soldiers were electroshocked, burnt with cigarettes to toughen up, even sterilized to protect society. But this wasn't unique to soldiers. Back then, mental illness was considered a sign of moral weakness. Those diagnosed were often shunned, shackled, lobotomized. Then came World War II. The horrors of the first had not been forgotten. So when soldiers returned home again, so did their psychological wounds. This time, though, attitudes started to shift. Soldiers weren't called weak. They were human. After all, they were led by someone who called himself the Occlum General George Patton, famed for slapping 2 of his soldiers during World War II. While controversial, he showed the world these men weren't weak. In fact, they were too damn good. This attitude change forced a new approach to mental health. By 1963, President John F. Kennedy signed the Community Mental Health Act into law. Asylums emptied, patients moved to community care. Finally, compassion was born. Then came the Prozac era. By the late 1980s, mental health was primetime TV. Suddenly, everyone had depression, anxiety, OCD. And while these diagnoses were real, did we start labeling everyday struggles as disorders? Welcome to Prozac Nation. 1 in 10 Americans was now on antidepressants. Princess Diana revealed her bulimia. Suddenly, the public had a face, a relatability, became trendy. But was that a good thing? Today, social media is flooded with therapy jargon. Feeling sad? Must be depression. Slightly worried? Clearly anxiety. But what's that? A TikTok scroll reveals a generation anxious about being anxious, a generation depressed about being depressed. They're symptoms, not sentences. That's social media creating a snowflake generation. I may quit university because of burnout. To him, it was more than just stress. It was self-care. But really, it's just stress, because social media tells us it's not normal to feel this way. We risk losing our resilience. So here we are today, pulled between 2 extremes. On one side, the neglect of the past. On the other, the overdiagnosis of the present. So where's the balance? How do we talk about mental health without making it fragile? How do we show compassion without overlooking the real issues? The truth is, mental health is real, serious, and important. But not every bad day needs a diagnosis. Not every challenge is trauma. Maybe it's time we all take a step back, delete the diagnostic TikToks, and engage with what's real. Listen to those who've experienced true trauma and leave the armchair diagnoses to the professionals. We can all play a part. Challenge the clickbait, support the struggling, and spread the real message of mental health awareness. That's all for now. See you next time.